Out of the midst of Lake Nicaragua spring two magnificent pyramids, clad in the softest and richest green, all flecked with shadow and sunshine. These are the words that Mark Twain said about Ometepe in 1866. And since then, Ometepe has caught the eye of many generations. Mark was neither the first nor last person to travel to the twin volcanoes. I made this journey with my partner in early 2020. The nearest airport is in Liberia, Costa Rica. It's a bit of a journey, and there's not really any comprehensive guides out there on how to get there. So I'm creating this video to show you the best way to get to Ometepe from Liberia, Costa Rica. Now, before I recall my journey, there are 3 tips I want to give for any traveler that decides to go to Ometepe. First, don't fear the language barrier. My Spanish, it's actually pretty bottom tier, and I was still able to make this journey. Number 2, forget what you know about efficiency. Latin America moves at its own pace. I'm calling you out, my fellow Americans, also Western Europeans. Forget what you know about efficiency. 3, and this is kind of cliche, but go with the flow. Traveling can get a little weird sometimes. Embrace the weird. Hardly anything goes according to plan. Now, if we look at a map from Liberia to Ometepe, it's 144 kilometers. 144 kilometers, that's less than 90 miles. That can't be that bad. But to get there, you have to take an Uber to the border of Costa Rica and Nicaragua, followed by walking over the border on foot. After that, you take what's known as a chicken bus, a little more on that later, followed by another bus to then a ferry to a shuttle, and then depending on where your bungalow is, a little hike up the side of a volcano to your bungalow. There's currently not many good resources out there on how to do this. I'm going to share one real quick of what I was able to find. So I found this guide. Like I said, it's a little dated. It tells you what you need, and it has some text and images that were helpful, but all this really details is how to leave Costa Rica and enter Nicaragua on foot. There's clearly some knowledge gaps here on how to actually get to Ometepe. But enough background. Let's talk about the journey. Part 1. My partner and I take an Uber. We're in the Uber, things are going well, until we hit a traffic jam that looked a little something like this. Huh, what a mess. Actually, it cleared up pretty quickly. So if something like this happens to you while you're in Latin America, like I said, you just go with the flow. It's part of everyday life down there, and they cleared it out in about 20 minutes. After that, we were headed to the border to walk over on foot. For this part of the video, I actually want to lean on mytanfeet.com's blog that I mentioned earlier. This was extremely helpful for crossing the border. The first thing we had to do was pay an exit tax when leaving Costa Rica, and that was actually well documented on this site to their credit. They had where we were supposed to go, and then from there we had to walk out through Costa Rican customs and into Nicaraguan customs. And it's all here. It even tells you how much you need to pay. This was very helpful. Once we entered Nicaragua, though, things got a little more chaotic, and the knowledge stopped here. Basically, this blog says, okay, you've arrived in Nicaragua, you're on your own now. The border can be just absolute chaos. We see here in this image, there's a giant wall on the left side running north with razor wire on it. What you need to do is actually follow that about 300 yards and take a U-turn, and that you follow back and brings you to a bus station. From there, you don't buy a ticket at a kiosk, nor do you exchange money at a kiosk. There's just random people walking around, and you exchange into the local currency, wait for your bus to pull up for your destination, they'll shout it out, and you board it. Then you're going to board what's known as a chicken bus. What's that, you might ask? Let's take a look. So this is a chicken bus, very common in Latin America. It's basically just a repurposed school bus from the United States. And the reason they call it a chicken bus is, in addition to people, sometimes it moves livestock. So we hopped on a chicken bus and actually bumped into a German couple that were at our hostel in Liberia. And with them, we took the chicken bus north to San Jorge, where we would have to find another bus. The next bus was located in a town called San Jorge. And things were a little chaotic here as well. Us and the German couple were kind of walking around aimlessly, going towards the next bus stop until a random city bus pulled up and the driver yelled Ometepe. Apparently he just saw, four confused backpackers and pulled over and brought us straight to the ferry. From the ferry, things got a little easier. This is a photo of my partner Nicole when we arrived to the ferry station. There's actually a little information desk with people who speak both English and Spanish. In addition to setting us up with tickets, they were able to arrange a ferry when we got to the other side. Now it was just up to us to enjoy the ride ahead. After arriving on the other side, we had to wait about an hour for our shuttle to pick us up. Then he would drive us to where our bungalow was on the island. That's him playing Tupac. I didn't add that in. The shuttle dropped us off at the base of a volcano, and we had to hike about a half mile to our bungalow. After 9 hours, we did it. We finally arrived. We rented an ATV and used it to explore the island for the next few days. We experienced incredible sunsets and woke up every morning to howler monkeys. Ometepe is one of the most incredible places I have ever been to, and I can't recommend it enough. So don't let a language barrier, arduous trek, or fear of the unknown bar you from seeing the twin volcanoes.